Hi everybody, welcome to JoeGa Fitness with me, Joe, and to this beautiful sunset stretch. There might be some salutations in there, but definitely we're going to be looking at unwinding at the end of the day. So when you're ready, we're going to make our way down into Shavasana, and we will begin with quiet contemplation. Feeling your body weight on the ground, feeling the breath coming into the body. Just allowing you to mentally connect to your practice. Just breathing and releasing and letting go. And then if you do feel anything kind of yield and release, maybe move into that space. And then everything soften and widen. Feel the connectivity between the shoulder blades, the head, the buttocks, the legs, the arms, the hands. Feel that ground, that support. And then just from this position here, we're just going to bend our knees, bring our feet onto the ground. And we're just going to take a butterfly pose, but I want you to kind of move through this butterfly. So bringing the knees together and then letting them fall. So your feet aren't going to be wedged together because we're just going to kind of roll into those hips. So wide on the knees and then narrow, down on the knees and then up. So just working into those hips. And if it feels like it's pulling at all, just take it a bit more gentle. Lovely, just a couple more, just working into those joints. And then when you feel ready, just let the knees drop wide and just pause here. And if it feels too much, remember you can support the legs. And we're just going to work the arms. We're just going to take the arms up and away overhead. You should feel the lower back lift as you do this. And then bring the arms back down beside you. And again, just reaching and stretching away. And then bringing it back down. And reaching away. And down. One more time. Just leave the arms up over here if that feels okay. You can always hold the elbows if that feels more comfortable, but you're just looking for that flare in the lower back, that stretch through the abdomen. And just releasing the arms back down by your side. Just bring your right knee over to your left knee and take that spinal twist. And then release back into that butterfly pose, that Supta Baddha Konasana, just coming in here again. Just allow this to widen and deepen. And then left knee over towards the right, coming into the twist, the other side. And then coming back through centre, I want you to just take hold of your knees, draw them into your chest and just gently massage the back into the ground. So for this sunset stretch tonight, I'm going to be looking to really delve deep into our Hatha practice, which is holding the postures, not in a type of restorative or yin way, but definitely for 3 to 5 breaths. We haven't done this for a long time. So we are going to be slowing everything down, really tapping into that hatha practice, but in a relaxed, gentle, stretchy type way. So just roll yourself up to sitting now. Come on up, pop up. Coming to sit, and if you can, sitting cross-legged, but if you feel that you need to extend your legs, then of course you can do that, and just sort of holding here. And I just want you to drop the chin down towards the chest and just roll the chin up towards that shoulder, doesn't matter which one, and then bring it back down and roll it towards the other one. And again, just making sure everything's nice and slow, and bring it down. Roll it towards shoulder 1 again, and over towards shoulder 2. Great. And just one more time, roll it over towards shoulder 1, and exhale, roll it over towards shoulder 2. And then just come back through center, lift the chin. We're just going to roll the shoulders in position here, so just rolling the shoulders around. Maybe bringing the elbows in a little bit. Or maybe just kind of a bit like backstroke, just taking big circles through the arms. And then what I want you to do is kind of give yourself a cuddle. So you're just going to cross the arms over, just bring them around and just squeeze in, just kind of giving yourself a nice little squeeze. And just notice which arm is on top, because when we do this again, we'll just bring the other arm up on top. Lovely. All right, let's just release that down. So we were circling backwards, so now I'd like you to just roll the shoulders forwards. Rolling forwards. Again, start to kind of bring the elbows in. And then bringing in those big arm circles. And then when you give yourself a hug this time, just pop in the other arm on top. So just give yourself, just kind of trying to walk your fingers into those shoulder blades if you can, hucking them in. Giving yourself a nice quick cuddle. Lovely. And just letting that drop. And we're just going to take a lateral flexion to one side. So just reaching over. And then to the other side. Good, and we do that again. So again, just holding and repeating. And to the other side. And each time you do, you might find that you just go a little bit deeper. Express it a little bit stronger. One more time. So if you've got a block and it feels nice and you're not lifting up off those sit bones, you can always lean down into, that's it, into a block. Well done. Good job. Really stretch through. And then we'll just change sides on that as well. So I'm just reaching it over. Lovely, and come on up. We're going to take a little rotation, take a twist. We get to look out on this view. Let's change sides. Lovely, and just releasing back through center. So we're just going to come forwards. So we're going to, again, you can pop the block here to lean on, or you can put it down, or you can just bring yourself down towards the ground, however feels good for you. I'll just pop myself back a little way. And again, thinking about those 3 to 5 breaths, so everything just a bit more elongated than what I would normally do. You know, I'm quite a rushy, go through lots of different things, and just really stripping it back and re-evaluating. And rise there, so coming back to a more traditional hatha practice. So what I'd like you to do, if you've sat with your legs in the same position, change the cross of them just to balance out those hips. And we're just going to do similar movements but not the same. So I'm just going to move this over, so you can always support the knee if you want to. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the left arm up and place it on the back of the head, and we're just going to take the right hand down, so it's either on the block or on the floor. And I want you to kind of think about coming across the body. You're aiming the elbow towards that opposite knee. It doesn't mean it has to touch it, and then coming back up, so opening out and really pushing that elbow back, so opening through the chest. And again, exhale to crunch round, and then inhale to extend. Lovely. And again, down and up. And then this time when we come down, we're just going to hold it here and just sit with this rotational twist just for a moment or two. Again, maybe 3 breaths, maybe 5, depends how quickly you breathe, I guess. And then releasing off. Good. And we'll just take that to the other side. So I'm going to move my block over. I'm going to take the right hand, your right hand, to the back of your head, and you're going to aim it across to the opposite knee. And then bring it up and release. Good. Open up through that chest. And you might find that one side feels different to the other. Opening up with the breath and exhaling. Good. And that's okay. And then just holding it round and down here, just coming into that twist. And breathe to release. Lovely. Pop the block back around the front, and just again leaning forwards with this cross of the legs, so slightly different to the other one. And then coming up. Good. I want you to just sit back into your hands for me, please. Unravel the legs and just gently rock them from side to side. Nice. And then we're going to come up and over onto all fours. So just taking yourself around onto all fours. And just a nice cat and cow, so just drop the spine, lift the head, lift the buttocks, and then rolling the other way. And just moving through this with breath. Excellent. And then you can take any movements that you fancy here, anything that feels like it needs a little bit of attention, so whether it be into the shoulder blades, into the hips. While I was away, I was very fortunate to get a lot of yoga practice in, and the yogi there called this crazy cat, and I really liked that. I liked the alliteration, and I liked the fact that, yeah, you're just kind of moving in your own way to your own rhythm. So we will steal that and use it as our own, and we will just kind of use that opportunity to just move, you know, through the wrists, through the knees, through the shoulders, through the buttocks, just anything that kind of feels like it's just, and everything at the moment feels like it's tight on me, so I'm using it. And then when you've done, just come back sitting into your child's pose. So just bring the forehead down, just take the hands back towards the feet, just relax the thighs, relax the body on the thighs, relax the head down, just taking our balasana, connecting with the earth and allowing ourselves to just rest. All right, before we stay there too long, because that feels nice, we're going to come up and we're going to do just this tiny little kind of vinyasa flow here, but in a gentle way. But remember, if you will, 3 to 5 breaths, okay? So we're just going to take like cat and cow sort of 3 to 5 times, and then we're going to push up into down dog. So you'll be coming up into your down dog, and then you'll be coming down and you'll be coming back into your child's pose, okay? So you'll come up, so it's just those 3 movements. So let's just start off in cat and cow here. So just traditional cat and cow, no crazy cat here, just linear, moving the spine up and down, rolling up and rolling down. Good. Excellent. And just one more. And then lifting into that cat arch, raise the spine up, sink your bottom back, come into your child's pose, but leave the arms extended, dropping the head towards the floor. And again, just pausing here, just feeling that compression, feeling that release, but you've got that tension in the arms. And then scooping through, lifting the body up into like cow pose, tuck the toes, so lean forwards and press back into your down dog. Now I know that this isn't everybody's favourite, but it is a great stretch, particularly for the back of the body, and doing weights, you know, resistance training assists your yoga and yoga assists your weight training. So it's important that we get it and we do it, and we even do the bits we don't like. But holding it for 3 to 5 breaths might be, I don't want to say a stretch because that's funny, but it might be. So if you need to come down sooner, come down sooner. But just feeling, I can feel my arms shaking at the moment. I know this is challenging, so just do the best you can, but really try and hit it at least for 1 breathing cycle. And then coming down onto all fours. And we're just going to run that again. Eating hair here, it's not great. So we're just going to run a little cat and cow, roll the heart, roll the spine, roll the heart, lovely, roll the spine, roll the heart, and then lifting up the spine. This last time that you lift up, sinking back, reaching forwards, extend those arms away. Feel like you've got a real flare through the lats, so you feel like your whole upper back, your wings are spreading here. Get that space. So although you're in a resting posture, and please feel free, if you're not comfortable in traditional child, to open the knees a little bit, make space for your body, but keep those arms reaching forwards. And then as we lift, we kind of ripple through, load into the arms to release the toes, and then lift up and push back into your down dog. So it's like a real ripple release. And pause and hold here. And again, holding in down dog is really tough, it's really strong, so come down when you need to. Okay, we're going to ripple forwards here into plank. And we're going to lift up and push back into dog. And again, we're going to ripple forwards into plank. Come onto your knees if you need to. Hold that strong pose. Think about building strength and heat. And then push back. We've got 1 more. Ripple and roll out. And lifting back up. Well done. Good. And we're just going to gently come back down onto all fours. I'm just going to change my perspective for you, just so that you can have a look what it looks like kind of from the side as well. Although this does go downhill a little bit, so if you see me disappear off, come get me. All right, so we're going to roll through the spine, lift up into cat arch. And then dropping down, lifting the head, push the buttocks away, drop the spine. And again, lift up, tuck under. And release. And that third go, lift up. And down. Lovely. Raising up into cat arch, sinking the hips back, reaching the arms forwards, dropping into child, reach forwards, really splay the scapula. Inhale, exhale. It's tricky to inhale deeply here because of the compression, so widen the knees if you need to make space. Take sips of breath. One more. And then this is why I changed my perspective, because I want you to see when we ripple up, we load forwards, and you can see the line from the side here. You're going to tuck the toes and then push back into your down dog. So it's this beautiful undulation. Nice, and holding here. And if your feet are really wide, you can just narrow them off. Good, long, slow, deep breaths. Good work. One more. And breathe out. And then those 3 ripples. So lift up through the shoulder blades, push the hips forwards, lift the head, come to plank. And then lift the hips and push back and ripple away. And again, lift up and push. And rise and release. You've got one more like this. Ripple forwards. And release. From that down dog now, what I'd like you to do, just narrow the feet at the back, toes to touch at the top of your mat. Make yours, let's call this the safety triangle. And lift up that right leg. So I'm going true right because it's closest to the camera so you guys can see. And we're just going to bring that knee through and we're going to come into pigeon, okay? So just swinging through into pigeon. But keep the body lifted, keep looking up, and then just come back to that breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Lovely. Drop the hips over and just swing the legs around in front. Again, I'm going to swing a little bit more so that I'm coming back to face you so I can see what you guys are doing and you can see me as well. Excuse me. Take a breath in, lift up. And folding forwards, if you can take your 2-piece fingers, wrap them around your toes, that's fine. If you can't, just holding wherever you get to. And just dropping down, stretching out the lower back, just release. And again, spending time with the breath and with the posture. One more here. And then lifting the head, come on up. What I'd like you to do is fold both legs over to one side. Doesn't matter which side, but just remember so that when we come through to it, the side 2, you know. And we're just going to take a little rotation away from the knees. So it's kind of like you're trying to look behind. Similar to how we would be if we were kind of in yin twist, but obviously we're not laying on a bolster. And then unraveling the body just for a moment. Bring that back leg around and over the top if you can. Now, if you can't quite get it over the top, just have it nearby, but keep that underneath leg bent. So doing this slightly differently and then twisting the other way, please. So rotating across, getting a nice stretch into the glutes. And then just, again, with each posture, try and settle in for those 3 breaths. Lovely. That top leg is going to come around and behind. You should now be able to roll up onto all fours. So we'll just take that cat and cow here, splaying and lifting. And again. And again. From that cat arch, sit back into your child's pose. Again, I'm just going to change my position. Reaching forward, lengthening through, releasing, letting go. And then lifting up, moving the weight forwards, tucking the toes under and pushing the body back into down dog, holding still to begin with. So just really feel like everything's upside down. And then we're going to ripple through, so lift through the shoulders, push down through the hips, come to your plank, and then lift the hips and push back. Good. And again, ripple and roll forwards. And push back. And again, ripple and roll forwards. And push back. Nice. So you're going to just draw the toes together at the back of the mat, make that nice triangular shape, and then lifting that left leg. Again, I've turned myself round, so working leg is towards you, and we're going to come through into that pigeon and do this here, and just holding it nice and high, so not collapsing down. Thinking about breath, breathing in and breathing out. And then we're going to drop over onto that hip and just let those legs come around in front. Now a little trick here, bend the knees to take the toes and then slide the legs away. And if you don't get the legs completely straight, that's fine. If you can straighten them and lean down, that's great too. So just working with what you've got, but keeping hold of your toes. So you're getting a bit of a stretch on the back when you do that. If you're holding here, you kind of push your shoulder blades apart and get a stretch on the back. And then taking a rise. Well done. So sending the legs around to the other side into that swastasana and just taking that rotation away and across. Lovely. Coming back through centre, we're going to take that back leg and place it either in front or over the top, and then twisting the other way. So the counter twist is a totally different posture. Come back through to the center. Let's just sit back in the hands and just rock those knees from side to side. Lovely. And then we're just going to extend the legs. It's that time of day where I can hear the little drone of mosquitoes. So I didn't have the forethought to maybe spray some deterrent. I've got some oil, so I'm probably going to get bitten, but never mind. So we're just going to bend, so if we take it on your right side, bend the right knee in, just sitting up, and just kind of give that a little hug. And we're going to place the ankle up into the groin as much as you can, and this knee is going to be free. So if that feels really uncomfortable, remember you can put something to support it, okay, particularly like the upper part of the leg, so it's not going to go too far. But the idea is to try and get a little bit of movement through that hip, so just pressing it down towards the ground. Again, just coming into those breaths, just holding that posture. Lovely. And then just maybe securing the foot up just a little bit further, so out of the groin a little bit. Sitting back into the hands, bend the other leg. And the aim is to try and get your buttocks towards your heel and then your hands towards your buttocks. And this just feels quite strong. One more breath. Then we're going to roll the legs over towards the left, coming down, and just take the body and twist it away. Lovely. Now come back around to center. Just see if you can roll up. Now you can see my knee is very raised here. Some people, they got really good outward rotation and that knee will be much further down. Mine is not, but we're just gonna feel that stretch into it. If you press against it, this foot is still dangling off the side, so it should be quite strong into that hip. Just feeling that push away. And just breathing through. This is the tendency when something challenges, this really challenges me, I can really feel it. And I want to hold my breath because it's like, so this is where you know, your 3 to 5 breaths, your nice, long, slow, deep breaths are really not comfortable, and you feel every second. Tough, tough, tough. And then unravel those legs, just give them a little rock in the hip sockets. Nice. I'm just going to grab some water. Okay, so side 2, extending the legs out, please. Just bringing that second side in, so towards the groin, as if you were doing Padmasana, just holding it in. I've got really slippery material on, so I've got to hold it in and then work on rotating that knee down towards the ground. Lovely. And then when we release it off, remember we slide that heel in, bottom to heel, hands to bottom, so kind of sitting you up. I think maybe I slid the leg over a little bit more, so just make it comfortable. One more. rotate and twist. I'm just going to move that out of the way, taking a twist. Alright, and then just kind of coming through centre. Again, you can relax that leg underneath just slightly. I'm just going to change my position a little bit so you can see. This side, this leg goes a little bit closer to the ground, but it's really, really, really uncomfortable. And if it is too uncomfortable, remember you can support it so that it doesn't feel like it's going too far, but you can also, if it feels like it's comfortable, you can press on that knee, which I'm not going to do just because this was the hip that tore. So go away please, and just support it. One more long slow deep breath. Okay, let's unravel all of that. Oh my goodness, and just extend them out. Give them a nice little shimmy and shake in position. Alright, so just setting your feet up about mat width apart. And we're just going to come down, again, reaching towards the feet, but it's not essential that you take the feet. Just somewhere towards. Great. And we're just going to let that go. Now we're going to try a posture. We're going to see how we go. So if you can, come over onto all fours, and then I'm going to go a little bit sideways so you can see. So we're just going to turn our toes under and just sit back a little way, just to stretch out the feet a little. I find this really uncomfortable, so we will not be here very long. Yeah, it's not good. And then what I'd like you to do is kind of roll back onto the feet and separate the knees. So it looks like this, and you're going to try and get your heels together. And then you come up to a little toe balance. And this is our Ganesha. It's a different Ganesha to the balance that we would do standing. And then you can kind of make your ears. So, or you can hold your hands in prayer. Lovely, and then you've got to try and hold for those 3 breaths. And then when you come out of it, just bringing the hands to the floor, bring those knees down, and just nice little tip taps of the feet, just to make sure the toes feel okay. All right, and then you can sit back. Now, I want you to stay sitting on your heels if that feels okay for you. Remember to sit however's comfortable, but we're just going to stay here for a second if we can. So what I'd like you to do is extend your right leg out. I'm still sitting on my heel of my left leg, and I don't want to be, so I'm going to move my body weight over, and I'm just going to encourage this leg out to the side. Hopefully you can see that. So what I've got is my right leg is extended, my left leg is here and folded back. And then I might feel like I'm leaning over to the side. If you feel like you're leaning over to the side a lot, a brick, block, or even just roll up your mat and tuck it underneath that one hip will encourage the hips to balance, okay? So whatever you've got, something, but only under the one hip, because obviously if you put it under the both, you'll still tip. So we're sitting here, in our Ardha Madhusana. And then what I'm going to get you to do is, do you remember we did that cuddle at the beginning? We're going to cross the arms over and just see if we can bring those arms around again. And then changing it into eagle arms, Garud arms, if you can. One more breath here. And then just checking which arm is on top, just releasing that off. So I went with, I can see things on me. Eating my blood. Unfold that leg from behind. Just give the knee some love. Make sure it all feels okay. Just, you know, everything nice and good. And then come back up to kneeling again, and we're just going to do that all again. So we're going to take the toes under and just stretch them out, because this is horrible, you know, it's always good to do it twice. There we go. I'm hoping that over time it gets a little bit easier. It hasn't done yet, but you never know. And then one of the things I didn't say to you before was you can use your block to push back and come into your balance. So if you bring the heels together and then you've got your block, you can lean your weight on that, okay? So you are looking to balance a little bit, and then with the block there you might be able to do one hand, so you can do a little practice. Beautiful, perfect. And just holding here, just really stretching into those toes, into those feet. Just letting those hips open nice and wide. Beautiful. And with that one hand, change it as well, so we've got balance, as long as that feels solid, you're not going to lose it. Good. Bringing that energy in. And then bringing the knees in, you come back down to kneeling. Just again, just releasing the toes, so just make sure the feet, you know, feels like the blood has gone back around. And then sitting down, sitting on your heels if you can, just sitting in this nice erect position. And we'll go through that on side two. So you're going to extend your left leg out, stay sitting on the heel of the right side while that leg becomes straight. And then you're going to kind of drop that hip down, move that leg out and aim to get the hips down. Now, for some reason this side, I don't feel like I'm leaning anywhere near as much as I was on the other side. So, you know, you might not need to make those adjustments. I don't feel like I do this side. I feel like I'm nice and square. So just holding here. And then again, just coming back to that breath. One more here. I'm going to lean back and just release that leg. Just give those knees a little bit of love. Again, make sure everything feels okay. Shimmy and shake. And then what I'd like you to do is we're just going to come around back onto all fours one more time. We won't go through the stretches and what have you again this time around, because we're just going to go into the full expression of this posture. So what I'd like you to do is sit back on your heels, but keep something close at hand, because if you find that it's too strong on the knees, then you might need to put something under your bottom. So you're just going to separate out your feet and sit your bum down onto the ground if you can. It's going to be strong, okay? If you put something under your bottom and lift you up a little way, it's a lot nicer, okay? So it's not quite so challenging. So either or, And then you can work on the knees. So if you've got your knees quite apart, you can work on getting those knees together. Just drawing them in and letting the hips drop down. And then we'll just bring the arms up. We're going to wrap, I know we didn't do it on the other side, but as we do it this way. We're going to wrap the other arm over the top and just give yourself that cuddle. And then roll it round into Garud on side 2. Sometimes when you've got something else to think about, it just lessens the strong sensations that you're receiving from elsewhere. And then you can just release that off. I just want to take that block out and just sit here. Lovely. And then you will find that you will need to possibly come forwards and just send those legs through and out the front. And let's just take a little rock here. So working a lot on inward rotation of those hips today, rather than outwards. And just extending down. And again, just make sure the knees feel right from being in that position. Looking through the toes and what have you. Okay, let's take a little lie down. So we're going to roll ourselves back into a lying position. Oh, nice. And just kind of revisiting the beginning of the practice. Bend the knees, bring the feet onto the floor. And this time we're going to take the feet wide and we're going to roll the knees in. So at the beginning we started off with a little bit of outward rotation. We're going to roll them in. So similar to what we were just doing, but we're doing this now in a supine position. So roll those knees in to come towards each other to touch. And then what I'd like you to do, just let the knees release, bring the feet in line with the buttocks. We're going to come up into our shoulder bridge, so Setu Bandhasana. So I'm just turning side on so you can see. So you kind of walk the heels in till they're kind of, you know, near your buttocks, and then stand down into the feet to roll the lower back into the ground, and then start lifting the hips, and you're going to come up into your shoulder bridge. Whew, I just inhaled something up my nose. And then again, just aiming to hold for 3 to 5 breaths, depending on how long and slow and deep you breathe. And then slowly peel your spine down, and just you can send the legs away from you. And just take the arms up overhead and take a full body stretch. And holding that again for your 3 to 5 breaths, just reaching away. And then finding your final resting Shavasana. So just allow yourself to find a position that feels comfortable. Turn the palms skywards. If you are bending the knees, roll those knees back in just like we just did. I do invite you to close your eyes. Just allow yourself to actually, it's not so bright now the sun has set, so I can remove my glasses. I have been watching. And just allow yourself to just come into this resting Shavasana. So connect with your surroundings, whether you can hear the traffic, or the wind, the water, other people, maybe just the creaks and groans of the house, maybe the creaks and groans of your body, your heartbeat, your breathing. Maybe you can hear nature. There's lots and lots and lots. So just kind of radar onto different sounds in the distance away from you and just pass by it. Don't need to spend time dwelling on it. You don't even really need to label it. Just recognise that it's there and move on. Just noticing these different opportunities to connect and then pass by. So for me, I can hear the wind and the birds, but I can also hear the goats and their bells. I can hear the traffic, planes. So even in this kind of remote area, there's still lots of noises, lots of vibrations. Then just starting to notice where you are on the mat. Just deepen your breath a little. Bring yourself back to within. Draw the legs together and just take a nice big stretch. And then just rolling your knees into your belly, just gently rock from side to side, please. When you're ready, roll over into your embryo pose. Draw the knees up, draw the head down. And then pushing your way around and up to sitting. Sitting in a position that you feel comfortable in. You've opened your eyes to rise, just close them down again. Just take a moment to notice how it feels at the end of this practice. Take a breath in, lift up. Bring the energy into the hands and draw it down into the heart. Bow the head in grateful acceptance of this time and opportunity to come together to practice. The love and light in me seeks out the love and light in you to join and become one. Namaste.